Welcome to the TLO game review. Okay, but you're wondering, what is TLO game review? This. Okay, so today's game, we're going to be covering game troll games because, well, I'm broke and they're free. So, why not? Today we're going to be playing, well, I played already, and reviewing Zorias. At least I think that's what it's called. Zorias. Zorias. And I played it. Like all these games I am going to do, I'm going to take time out of my time to play these games and understand them a bit and learn mechanics. So, let's go ahead and move to the first category, graphics. The graphics in these games are meant to be, well, in this game, I don't know why I said game. In this game is meant to be pixelated, pixel art, as most things, and I find it very beautiful. I find it really nice. I find it all really blends in together pretty well. All blend in pretty well. The main heroine, no, like heroist, I don't know, heroine. I'm just gonna say heroine. Is Zorias herself. Just gonna boom. It's like right here. Hopefully, if I can edit or something, I don't think I can. But if it is here, you would see the character is quite, as you know, because this game is rated teen. Because oh man, it's crazy, dog. It's crazy. But the graphics are overall good. The enemies sprites are really nice. The character sprites are good. The animation in which they move is fluent, nice, and amazing in my eyes. Everything seems to go very well together. There's nothing that really like screams out very differently. Other than that, I really have no gripes with this. I'll give the graphics a very good. I really love the graphics. Let's move on to the next category. Let's move on to the next. Now, with story-based ones, there's obviously going to be dialogue. Obviously, I didn't get really into this because this is more of an alpha. This is an alpha demo, which is why you shouldn't critique it so much. It's only the first build. So, the dialogue is alright. It's okay. It's okay for what I've seen of it. I haven't seen much of it because the times that I did play, well, I just kept on dying. I never got to the end part, but the dialogue I did see was okay. Wasn't bad. It was okay. That's all I really gotta say for the dialogue. The dialogue is not bad. It's not good either. It's not terrible. I've seen worse dialogue. Trust me. There's like way worse dialogue in games. Way worse dialogue in games. Okay, so that's it for this portion. We're just flying through them. Let's go on to the next category. Controls. Controls are a very important part in the game in general. If you don't have good controls, then it could ruin your game no matter the story. In Zorias, the controls were alright. There are some choices that I thought were kind of weird in the story, in the general thing. Like, you have the arrow keys to move, but you don't use, like, which is already a weird thing. You'll usually go with W, A, S, and D. I don't know why, but they just chose those. They chose the arrow keys. You don't use the top button, the top arrow key to jump. You use instead Z, which I found pretty weird, but they're not bad either. They're not bad. I feel like with all the other keys that do the other things, it makes sense. So you always have one hand over here and doing everything else. So I guess it's all right. But so I would say the controls are okay. They could be better though. But I feel like you can get used to them pretty easily. So let's move on to the next category. Characters. So this is the last category, obviously. Characters. So the only character I've seen so far was of Zorias, who is the main character, because, like I said, I kept on dying over and over and over and over again. So we don't know much about Zorias as much as I would like to. Maybe I should have done more research a bit more. But the game that I did play, well, the only game I played was this one, and well, it was quite not much of a story-based game as much as I've seen so far. and we don't know much about Zorias, but of artwork that I've seen at least, she seems to be very, I don't know, like very high energetic, but like very low and very lazy person in general. And that's all right for a character, but we do know in the game that she is supposed to be strong. She's supposed to be strong and very smart, I guess. Pretty smart for her doing the things that she does. Well, very at least very smart in combat, because she does have different moves, different attacks, and that's good. That's good. So Zorias is the only character I at least saw, and I would say she's a pretty good character. Like for like the game that you're playing, it's pretty good. You don't need a character to have backstory or anything. Look at the Doom guy. You don't know much about the Doom guy, or the Doom Slayer from the Doom 2016 to Doom now, just the regular Doom, and you don't know much about him, but you don't need to know much about him. All you need to know is that you're him. You know what I mean? It's an entire thing where you don't need a character's backstory to like this character. So I think that's it, and let's move on to my final score and some of the things that don't really fit into these categories. There are some things that don't fit into these categories, so I'm just gonna list them off right now. The sound design, the sound, and I might just put that in with graphics. I might just change graphics later on in the series to add sound and animation. The sound is very overwhelming. The sound is extremely overwhelming. The footsteps are extremely loud. Don't get me wrong, I know like you're supposed to hear the footsteps quite prominently, but I think you can tone them down just a bit. Just a bit. The music's quite bleeding. I would say in my case, I didn't really like the music much. Well, I like the music. It's just that it was too loud and it was too out there. But overall, the game, it's pretty good. It's good. It's a good game. It's a good game for a beta and an alpha game. So for my level of measurement, I'm going to use my favorite beverage. So I'm going to give this game 4.5 Sprite lemonades out of 5. So, do you like this game? Do you love it? And if you haven't checked it out and you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link in the description below. So, hope you guys love this video. First video that I actually will put some effort into once in a while. So, that's it. And that's all for this video.